right, 21 minutes after 11 o'clock. Let's see, how do I tell you about my organizational skills? I have none.
Okay.
All you have to do is look in our office. Robin and I, we share an office.
Yes.
And if you look at my half, it's horrible. If you look at Robin's half, everything has a place. Everything, I have this reputation of not going ever to the movies, but I did. I went to see this movie called Manchester by the Sea. Mm-hmm. And the main character is a janitor, and he messes up, and he has to go talk to his boss. If anybody saw this movie, you know the scene I'm talking about. And he's talking to his boss, and his boss is at his desk, and behind the boss's desk, it looks like my desk. Everything is a mess. So we have Katie and Kelly McMenamin, I hope I'm saying the name right, on the phone. They are both professional organizers, and they have a book called Organize Your Way, Simple Strategies for Every Personality, and that would include me. Katie and Kelly, good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good, we're good. Doing great. Wish we were where you were. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Cold and snowy here in New York.
Oh, you're in New York? Oh, yeah, it started snowing this morning. How deep is it right now? How deep did it get?
It turned to hail, so it's just gross. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's hail now. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
You need to organize the weather.
Exactly, yeah. That's going to happen soon.
How did it come to be that two sisters became great at organizing? And when did you notice that you were good at this?
I've always been good at it. Yeah, Kelly's always been good at it. And I wasn't. And we shared a room when we were children. And she had to walk through my side to get to her side.
Okay.
And that was not good.
So that's like our office.
And so we've always... yeah, and so Kelly was always trying to get me organized her whole life. She's been trying, it's been horrible for her to have to walk through my room. And so finally we got to the point where I'm like, Kelly, I think that I need to organize differently. And so that was just the beginning of a kernel of truth, and we went from there and started on an anthropological tour of Manhattan trying to, figure out how to get different people organized with very limited space. So, it was a good case study. And so we found out solutions that work for all types, and that there's more than, just the Kellys that are naturally organized in the world. There's a lot of different people. A lot of people like you with all their piles of paper, that looks like a sort of, but can you find what's in those papers? That's what I want to know.
The answer is yes, because I have...
See? Then you are organized.
I have a way of knowing where my stuff is. Even though it doesn't look like it doesn't look like I do. But when you talk about like an apartment in Manhattan, unless you're really rich, you have to have really, really good skills at being able to place things so that you have a way to live, right?
Exactly. But, it's also about your personality. I mean, even so, it's like, yeah, you have to have less stuff in New York, or you have to have a storage unit because you don't have an attic or a basement or a, garage.
I know.
It's like, but the same thing is that people organize differently, and your piles, while they don't look organized, they actually are, because you can retrieve it. And organization, at the end of the day, is all about retrieval.
So if we use the book, can we get rid of the storage? What do you call that place again? You pay rent
storage shed.
Storage shed. You pay rent
people really can. Yeah. Yeah, if you're ready and if you have the inspiration to do it, absolutely. Especially depending on your personality type. There are some personality types that are probably never going to be able to get rid of their storage unit. It just depends on who you are. And that's, it's like the easier, softer way of how to get organized and stay that way, because you actually are organized even though no one knows it. But we would help you by making it look like you were more organized. We'd give you like purposeful bins. We put structure around what you already do naturally. But also, it's not just that we put structure on what your natural tendencies are. Why we're putting that structure there is yes, it looks nicer, and that makes everybody happy across the personality spectrum. But someone like me could interact with your piles because they're labeled. You've actually said, you know what, there's about 5 categories in this one big pile, and you put them in 5 different piles. And so then if I need to give you something, I'm not just adding to this massive pile, I'm actually putting somewhere that'll be helpful to you, because you don't know I put it there. But if you walk into 5 piles, it's going to be easier for you to see I've actually given you something.
All right, so do you organize the organized? Okay, let me explain this. When I was a kid and the room was a mess, my mother would say, put your stuff away, and I had a toy box kind of a thing. So I put everything in the box. It was still disorganized in the box. But so do you, like, if I went into, like, okay, how do I say this? If I went to If you went into my desk drawer, everything in there might be unorganized, even though the desk looks organized. Until you open up the drawer.
Well, that's because it's basically a junk drawer. Like, with certain types, like, drawers are it's hidden away. It just might not exist, and so that's like where you just put stuff. I don't know what to do with it. It goes in there. That becomes a junk. Any drawer in my house eventually becomes a junk drawer, no matter what I do. And I've just given up trying to have drawers. Like, if I could redesign my house, I would have no drawers. There's just no point.
When children grow up and they leave, they go to college and then they get married and have their own families, the parents seem to be holding on to their stuff because they don't have enough space in the college. They don't have enough space at their new place. How do they give the stuff to the children or say they're going to get rid of it?
That is such a hard one. But I recently wrote a column about this, and it depends on your personality type, how harsh you are, basically. Because there's people who would be like, I have a friend whose kid is still young, and he comes home with artwork. She's like, that's lovely, and puts it in the garbage. I mean, and then there's the type who hold on to that particular picture, and their kid's 30, and they have their own kids, and they still have that picture in their basement.
Right.
So obviously there's a spectrum, but the person who's throwing it away the day of never has this stuff. The person who's holding on to it, I would say, kind of depends. They're either going to leave it for their kids to throw out one day when they die, as depressing as that sounds. You're either going to do that, or you're going to say, hey, you know what? We're going to get a storage unit. I'm going to put this stuff. I'm going to get it out of my house. It's yours. I'll pay for the storage unit for 6 months. You guys either get it or don't get it. Right. That's somebody who can has a little bit of an edge, but that's one solution. I don't know if you have another one, Kate, or
no. I mean, just tell them you're going to throw it away. I mean,
I like that.
Katie and Kelly.
The storage unit, though, kind of puts the extra edge.
That's a much more structured thing.
Yeah.
I would just be like, oh, come on, guys.
Are you roommates right now?
I'm like, I don't know.
Are you both roommates right now? Do you share a living space?
Oh God, no.
No. Okay. All right.
I think we were roommates for a year, but we both had boyfriends, so we were barely home. That's the only way it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except for when we were young.
This is a fun interview.
All right. The dark.
The book is called Organize Your Way. I promise you that there's more in the book than we ever could tackle in a radio interview. But with half a minute left, can you give us one trick to keep things organized?
Keep it as easy to one step as possible.
One trick.
Get rid of extra steps. Hooks. Get rid of the tops to garbage cans and hampers as quick as easy as you can.
Get rid of the hampers.
Whatever system you set up.
The tops to the hampers.
Get rid of the top.
Yeah, because you.
Extra steps. Yeah. Reduce the amount of steps for every organization procedure. Think about it. Is this one step or two step? How can I make this one step?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
Get
my
as close
gosh.
to one step as
Okay.
possible.
All right. I think the top. All right. I have a copy of the book. Call me. The rest of us have to go buy it. Is it pixiesdidit.com?
Yep.
That's the website, right? Pixies
So
did it.
Barnes & Noble, Amazon.
Okay.
Organize Your Way.
Wherever books are sold, yeah. Pixiesdidit.com. Katie and Kelly, thank you so much for being on the air with us today. The book again, Organize Your Way. We'll be right back. Thank you, ladies.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Thousands of plows out as a late winter storm knocks out power to some 100,000 customers in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Fox's Rick Leventhal's in eastern Pennsylvania, where a blizzard warning remains in effect.
They tell us that the snow could come down 2 to 3 inches an hour through this afternoon. It slowed down quite a bit in the last half hour or so. We are getting that sleet mixed with the snow right now, but the roads are in pretty bad shape.
More than 6,000 flights canceled around the country. The White House budget chief pushing back against CBO findings, which predict 14 million Americans will lose health insurance under the GOP plan.
We'll find a 55-year-old person who's on Obamacare right now and ask them if they can afford to go to the doctor. They're going to tell you without exception that they can't.
McMenamin on Fox and Friends saying the CBO is really good at counting numbers, but maybe not that good at counting coverage. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Ace is the place with the help.